Have you ever felt fear take control of your life? That tightening in your chest, that racing heartbeat, that voice that whispers, "What if you fail?" Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe it's the fear of rejection. Or maybe it's the fear of the unknown. Fear is an invisible chain. You can't see it, but it holds you back. It steals your dreams, your voice, your courage. But what if I told you that fear isn't your enemy? What if fear itself is the doorway, not the wall, to your freedom? This is the story of a young man named Arjun. A man who walked into the jungle carrying a heart full of fear, and walked out carrying the secret to defeating it forever. Arjun lived in a small village at the edge of a vast forest. From the outside, he looked strong, confident, and healthy. But inside, he was fighting a quiet battle. He was afraid of speaking up, afraid of trying, afraid of failing. Every time an opportunity appeared, fear whispered in his ear, "You can't do it. What if you fail? What if people laugh?" And so he stayed silent. He stayed behind watching others take chances while he stood frozen behind the invisible walls of his fear. Every night he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, asking himself, "Why can't I be brave? Why can't I move forward?" Until one evening, after another day of regret, Arjun made a decision. He had heard stories about an old wise man who lived deep inside the jungle. A man who people said had the answers to life's greatest questions. That night, Arjun packed a small bag, said goodbye to his mother, and walked into the darkness of the forest, determined to find the secret to defeating fear. The deeper he went, the thicker the trees became. The light grew dim. The shadows stretched across the path. Strange sounds echoed around him. Branches cracking, leaves rustling. Every sound made his heart race faster. His mind began painting pictures of wild beasts waiting in the dark. Fear whispered, "Turn back. You'll get lost. You'll never make it." But Arjun kept walking. He whispered to himself, "I must find the truth. I can't live like this anymore." After hours of walking, he reached a clearing. In the middle stood a massive banyan tree, its roots twisting like walls, its branches reaching toward the sky. Beneath it sat an old man with eyes closed in peace. His beard was long and silver, his clothes simple, and in his lap rested a wooden staff. Arjun bowed deeply and said, "Master, I have come from far away. Fear controls me, weakens me, and steals my dreams. Please tell me, what is the secret to defeating fear?" The old man slowly opened his eyes. They were calm and kind like a quiet river. He smiled softly and said, "Sit down, my child. If you truly wish to defeat fear, you must first understand it. Tonight, you will not just hear my words. You will experience them." Arjun sat beside him. The sun sank behind the trees. The forest grew darker. The cries of nightbirds echoed, and the air filled with unseen whispers of the jungle. Fear began to rise again in Arjun's chest. The old man pointed toward the shadows and said, "Do you see how the darkness grows as the sun sets? Fear is like this darkness. It spreads quickly and hides the truth." Then he lit a small torch. Instantly, the shadows pulled back. The same trees that moments ago looked frightening now looked calm and harmless. The old man smiled and said, "Do you see? Fear looks powerful, but it disappears when light comes. That light is knowledge, courage, and action. Fear grows only when you stay still in the dark." Arjun nodded. "But master," he said, "how do I bring this light into my life? My fear feels so real, so strong." The old man said gently, "Words are not enough. You must face fear directly. Tonight you will do 3 things. Each will show you what fear truly is." They walked down a rocky path until they heard the roar of rushing water. In front of them was a narrow wooden bridge stretched across a dark, fast river. The bridge shook in the wind, and the water below looked deep and dangerous. The old man pointed and said, "Cross it." Arjun froze. "What if the bridge breaks? What if I fall?" The old man's voice was calm. "That is fear speaking. It tells you what might go wrong but hides the truth that you are stronger than you think. Step forward, one step at a time." Arjun took a breath. The first step creaked, the second shook, the water roared below. His legs trembled, but he kept moving. The fear didn't disappear, but it grew quieter. When he finally reached the other side, he looked back and realized the bridge wasn't as dangerous as his mind had made it. The old man smiled. "Do you see now? Fear told you a story of falling, but reality told you a story of strength. Most fears live only in the mind, not in the world. When they returned to the clearing, the old man placed a small clay pot in front of Arjun. Inside, something moved. "Reach in and take what's inside," he said. Arjun's stomach tightened. "What if it's a snake? What if it bites me?" The old man shook his head. "Fear is a master of imagination. It shows you the worst picture. But until you face it, you'll never know the truth." Arjun's hand trembled as he slowly reached into the pot. He felt something soft, something alive. His breath caught, then he pulled it out and laughed. It was just a tiny, harmless frog. The old man nodded. "You see, fear made you suffer before anything even happened. That is what it does. It punishes you twice, once in your mind, and once if the danger is real. But most of the time, the danger only exists here," he said, pointing to Arjun's head. Arjun began to smile. His heart felt lighter. Then came the final test. The wise man led Arjun deeper into the jungle, until they heard the growl of a wild animal. Arjun froze. His body turned cold. In the darkness, two glowing eyes appeared. A wolf. Arjun panicked. "Master, we must run." But the old man stood calmly. "No, running will only make it chase you. Stand firm. Face it. Show it you are not weak." Arjun's legs shook, but he remembered the bridge. He remembered the clay pot. Slowly, he stood tall. He looked straight into the wolf's eyes and stayed still. The wolf growled once more, then tilted its head and disappeared into the forest. Arjun gasped, his knees almost giving way. But this time, his heart wasn't full of fear. It was full of strength. The old man smiled. "Now you understand the final truth. Fear is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It shows you where your courage is needed. You do not defeat fear by running. You defeat it by standing, by acting, by walking through it." Arjun sat beneath the banyan tree, his heart still racing, but now with pride, not weakness. The old man placed his hand on his shoulder. "Remember, my child, fear is the gatekeeper of growth. Every time you face it, you grow stronger. Every time you walk through it, you come closer to your true self. Do not hate fear. Thank it, for it points you toward the place where your courage is waiting." When dawn broke, Arjun bowed to the wise man and began his journey home. The shadows of fear still followed him, but they no longer ruled him. He knew the truth now. Fear was not a wall but a door. And on the other side of that door was freedom. So, my friend, let me ask you, what fear stands in front of you right now? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of rejection? The fear of the unknown? Remember Arjun's lesson. Fear is not the end. It's the beginning. Step into it, and you will discover the courage that was always inside you. And if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because sometimes, one story can give you the courage to change your entire life.